Today, I want to tell you about Miss Chickie. Some people hug their chickens, or diaper them up and hang out with them in front of the TV. We're not like that, but right now I am sad. Miss Chickie, our gray speckled hen with the goose step and a habit of looking you in the eye until you do what she wants, has sequestered herself in an empty nesting box going on for 10 days now. It's not like her. For the last 9 years, making her old for a chicken, she has been our resident anarchist, our rejecter of the pecking order, the Diogenes of the chicken run. Death should have no dominion over this chicken. For Miss Chickie, the normal rules do not apply. Admittedly, Chickie has not been as devoted to flattening hierarchies as ignoring them. This strategy worked for her until Bertie Rooster morphed from cockerel to cock and turned into a violent tyrant. The more Chickie dismissed him as a dumb schlub, the more bloody he began battering her with his beak and sharp spurs, and raping her, as cocks do to hens, but normally not with malice. I tell you, it was awful enough to withstand his attacks as a fully grown human with boots and a big stick. I can't imagine standing up to him as a small, compact hen. But even shredded half featherless, Chickie kept on keeping on. She'd clearly die before she'd bend the knee to that drip. As Bertie, infuriated, grew increasingly inclined to oblige on that front, I had to shatter the sweet dreams of spouse who wields the axe, of a self-perpetuating flock and chicks cheeping throughout the garden. If Bertie meant death to Miss Chickie, it was time to make a coq au vent. I have to say, Chickie was spot on. Who's to say if a hen ever knows that she knows what she's doing, but kudos to her for standing her ground, forcing us to act. A couple of the hens may have missed him, and Bertie did have a fan club and two young hens who didn't seem to understand that they were his daughters. A fact he didn't seem to understand either. But life was miles better and far less stressful for everyone else without that murderous fowl around. And why should Chickie have bowed down to him, when she had survived far deadlier attack by the goshawk who'd been picking off our hens one by one? No thanks to Bertie Rooster, by the way, ever the first to run for cover, more chicken than the hens. That moment will always stick with me. When I heard Chickie shriek, I dashed out of the house, across the lawn, around the corner, and nearly straight into that breathtaking bird. The goshawk was gray-speckled, like Chickie, but then again the goshawk was nothing like Chickie. All lean muscle and brains, the goshawk perched on the bench was a powerful killer about to pounce on a plump set of cutlets scampering around in a panic on drumsticks. As I took in my breath, the goshawk, more annoyed by the interruption than frightened of me, looked me in the eye, taking a moment to consider whether she could still nab the chicken before she took to the sky. As soon as the goshawk was gone, Chickie, none the worse for wear except for being even more featherless now, went calmly back to scratching in the dirt, searching for invertebrates. Bravo, my dear. It took the other hens, followed by Bertie Rooster, the better part of an hour to venture back out of the safety of the chicken coop. But of course it was inevitable that Chickie would finally meet her match. No chicken, no matter how stubborn or iconoclastic, can survive time. Chickie has already outlived her clutchmate, Destructo, who keeled over 2 years ago already for no apparent reason other than old age. With a heavy heart, I trudged into the house today to tell Spouse that Chickie was making her last stand in the nesting box. Dying? He said. Are you sure she's not broody? But how could that be? Laying one single, barely calcified egg per week when it used to be like super strong eggs daily, despite the high quality feed and the calcium drink that she gets. Chickie has all but hit the henopause, and she's sitting on an empty nest. But when I went back outside and opened the lid of the nesting box, Chickie said, "Gluck, gluck," which is exactly the sound of a broody hen. That delirium can last almost a month, even on an empty nest, during which the hen barely eats or drinks. If you want to stop it, you have to cool the hen's rear end. I'd say but have you ever looked? There's no buts about the back end of chickens. Spouse's grandmother, hardened by war, would plonk broody hens in rain barrels to bring them back to their senses and their daily egg-laying habit. Other people place packs of frozen peas under the sitting chicken. Previously, we've succeeded by putting broody hens on a perch as they're sleeping. 2 nights of cool air on the cloaca seems to do the trick. But I understand Chickie's unruly desire for motherhood that has hit now, finally, only when it's too late. Those eggs she's making being nowhere near viable, even if there were still a rooster around. It's one of nature's cruel tricks. But there's no need to chill the back end of this chicken. I'll grant Chickie the dignity of emerging from her purdah when she herself finds it fit. I'm just happy she's not dying in there. There will never be another chicken like Miss Chickie. When she does finally leave us for that great field of worms in the sky, I'll be tempted to take down the chicken run fence and use its wood for her funeral pyre. So here's to you, Chickie, and here's to you all for listening. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed my little character sketch of Miss Chickie, the best chicken ever.